everyone. I'm Mary Kwiatkowski, and I'm back again with another episode of the brand new NBC reality TV show, Destination X. Season 1, it's coming to a close. We're on our 9th episode here, and I am here, as always, by my excellent co-host, Sasha Joseph. Sasha, wow, we're really hitting the home stretch here.
I'm here. All my chips are on the table. We're ready. We're ready to get to the finale. All right.
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's just say this episode did not change anything about who I think is going to win.
Yep.
So
Big
I
agree.
think we all kind of saw more or less this final 3 coming.
And did
But
we call the order as well, like the elimination
I
order?
I'm trying to remember. I feel like we either thought Peter um
Sure.
or
Yeah.
Shane was going to go this time, but I think Peter is like making a late season like sprint here. So
Fair.
we'll
Fair.
see. But yeah. So thank you all for joining us, and as always, you can find all the rest of our coverage over at weknowdestinationx.com. Make sure you subscribe there and give us a 5-star rating and review. And of course, also make sure to check out our Destination X exit press that will be coming to you probably tomorrow. We talked
Mhm.
last week with Allie, and we will chat this week with Shane. So back to back. I think we now have a lot more information about the whole showman situation. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. And I guess we can go ahead and start with that because I know that we received a lot of different information and people sending us a lot of messages about this. So let's just go ahead and start. RIP to Shane for this
Can
episode.
I can I just say
Uh-huh.
before we get into obviously breaking news, the fact that all the women were voted out back to back to back or pushed out, whatever you wanna call it, and now the black man, right, or the person of color is gone.
I you know, and
It's just I
especially
didn't say it, but I'm saying it.
especially because the last few episodes, definitely the Mac, the Allie, and the Shane
Yep.
boot, and I'm not sure, I'd have to go back and try to remember how Janae left the game. They all were not just about guessing the wrong
Exactly.
place.
Janae could have been, you could say, right, like, Rick just didn't tell her the whole
That's
truth.
true. But I will say with Shane, Shane was the farthest away no matter how you slice it. Like if they had just gone by map room rules, Shane would have also been gone
Yep.
on this one, but they also were not no one in the game was particularly helping him try to not be eliminated
Yep.
either. But yeah, the Mac and Allie ones were like direct hits against them. So speaking of Mac and Allie, here we go. Let's talk about it. So we talked with Allie last week, and probably within one day of that podcast recording, breaking news came out that would have been great to know beforehand. But
I was like,
here,
"Damn, girl, you couldn't give us, like, anything?"
yep, nothing. They were waiting for their spread. So here we go. Initially, this was covered by Out Magazine and has since been, I've noticed, published a couple other places. But yeah, Allie and Mac are a couple. It's a little bit unclear based on how long ago the show filmed, but from talking with Allie, her and Shane did continue dating for like a month or two after the show filmed, but they were long distance. I did think it was funny in our interview that she was talking mostly about how they were long distance when it seems like the bigger the bigger crux here is she fell in love with somebody else. So
This is just so funny and so
it's
good.
funny. It's great. I love it.
I love it. Obviously, we're, like, so happy for them. It's just it was obvious that Mac was not into Biggie. Like, that was just, like, I don't know why they were trying to make that happen or push that onto us
It was
because
seen a little bit more, like, one-sided from Biggie's direction, but
yeah,
yes.
just weird energy overall. But, like, they're so good. They're so smart. They're so good looking. Like, this is just I love when shows are able to give us all of this mess even after.
Yeah, it's funny. I think probably one of my favorite parts about the mess of all of this is the way that they have continued to edit Shane in these episodes, which I mean, there's nothing they could have done. Like they filmed this a while ago, but so many times during this episode where they like, oh well, Shane, at least you found love, and Shane's like, yeah, me and Allie, we're gonna be together forever. Oh, it's sad. It's like watching the middle of a TV show and you already know the ending, you know?
Yup. It's wild. Can you imagine, like, it if I'm Allie and Mac watching this, I'm just giggling, kicking my
Yes.
feet up, but damn, Shane.
It is funny. It's very funny. But yeah, congrats to Allie and Mac. Hope you
Yes.
are enjoying being in love. And if you want to see any more about them, they've both made several posts on their Instagrams as well. So feel free to look that up if you want to hear a little bit more about how they got together and everything. Very cute. Very cute. So the other thing, old business, that I want to discuss is I actually heard from quite a lot of people that they loved last week's episode. I know that we were a
Yeah,
little
our comments were lit up. Even Rick, right? I was like, "Okay, damn."
we were a little bit like, oh, could this one have been an email? You know, they just stayed in one spot. And I think that is also because, Sasha, you and I were both looking at this as like, this seems like a big departure from the concept of the show that we've been watching.
Mhm.
I did not think it was like a bad episode. I just felt like it seemed like a very different show. But we're kind of back on our new business.
Yeah, and I stand 10 toes down on it.
Sasha's like
I
this.
wanna make that clear. I'm not taking nothing back.
Okay. You're a better person than I am.
Yeah.
I will always kowtow to the audience. Sorry.
Oh my god, like, what? Audience, come on.
I don't know. I mean, I thought it was fine. Maybe people just love Venice. I don't know.
Fair. Listen, if you like pretty things, I'll
Yeah.
allow it, but otherwise, no.
But like by comparison, I liked this episode a lot more because I enjoyed actually moving, seeing some places, and then also um having some strategic social competition happening.
Mhm.
So let's get into it. We start off this episode, which is called How's Your Poker Face? Um, and we get a tiny little bit of info at the beginning of where they are. We know they're 270 miles away, and we Jeffrey tells us, and also all of the people on the bus know, they're like, yeah, we're clearly just like heading west from
Yep.
Venice. So like everybody knows that. But we are told up front, like, this is going to be a little bit more of a tricky episode. We're going to have some more difficult clues. And he says it's going to be sink or swim, which maybe is supposed to be hinting at the fact that we're going to end up on the coast. We also kind of know that already based on the anchor clue from
Exactly.
the previous episode. But of course, Shane and Biggie don't know that. So we pretty much instantly get to this sort of mountainous, craggy area where they all take a horseback ride. And at first I thought it was like they were going to split into four directions, but they kind of pair
Mhm.
off. And this is still where I'm watching this going, okay, I get it. Biggie and Shane are tight. But how do they think that Peter and Rick are not at all tight?
That's what I'm saying. It's just like okay, I thought about this. I really believe that it's because they really think that Rick is a snaky ass snake that just is loyal to nobody. That's the
And so they
only
just think he
way.
wouldn't work with Peter at all.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very interesting. But split off, and everyone thinks like, oh, we're in Arizona. That's kind of what it looks like. I instantly called. I was like, this music is very spaghetti western, and
Yep.
I famously love spaghetti westerns. Took an entire class on western movies in
Wow.
college, and I loved it, and all the spaghetti westerns were my favorite. So I just figured that we were somewhere in Italy still at this point. But and also like Jeffrey tells them straight up. He tells them like it's high noon, good, the bad, the ugly. Like he's
Yeah.
saying all this, so they know it. But they're gonna take the horses, and then they were
Well, they
gonna
also
each.
see a sign that says there's
Oh
no
yeah,
place like home, which was the most BS clue of my life. There's too many letters for it to be like, oh, and then it spells out Monaco.
it's like if you get rid of 80% of the letters, the ones left can unscramble to Monaco. No, that's not a thing.
No, that's just not how it works. Like, I
No,
don't know what else to tell
that's not a
you.
clue. That's nothing. If they were, like, in a different color or different font, and I rewatched that clip, like, 4 times. I think that I don't know. I think it was just saying, like, "Hey, you could find the word here." Is that worse than Gen Eva? I think so.
Yes, very much. Gen Eva, at least you could, like, say, "Oh, we're silly like that. Fine, we have to think about it that way, blah, blah, blah."
Mhm.
No, this is just ridiculous.
Yeah. So they're going to take the horses up and through the hills and find an individual clue box for each person. And then it's sort of up to them whether or not they want to share their information. Peter and Rick go first, or they go off together. We see what they get first. And, but Peter instantly tells Rick, like, oh, I've flown in this area before, and this looks similar to some of the areas around Monaco. Like, well, there we are. So Peter was close from the start. And it's kind of funny
Yeah.
because he didn't end up selecting Monaco exactly, or he was like a couple miles away. So because I think they both selected, where is Cannes?
Cannes is south of France.
Oh, it's even further away.
Yes.
Um, maybe it was closer to Nice that they selected. But yeah, so Rick is gonna get a box full of rocks, and then there's 3 ring boxes that are red with the monogram
Mhm.
MM on them. I almost feel like the rocks is a better clue. Well, I don't know. They're both like diamonds. Because you would say like
Yeah. Oh,
a
I didn't
rock.
even put the rocks together until right this minute.
Yeah.
That's really funny. Okay, I like it even more now.
I
Yes,
it
yes.
is interesting though that like Rick's clue was by far the easiest. Like he gets
Mhm.
ring boxes, uh, MM, and then also the rocks.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they were just sort of randomly, some were easier than others.
Yeah, are things really random? Hmm.
There's the one clue, I'll get to the one clue that I think is by far the hardest.
Yeah.
And then Peter gets 4 shovels in the sand. And this is actually also where he says like 4 things, maybe it's 4 letters, and that's how you spell Nice. And I'm just like, okay, it could be anything, but sure, go with that. Um,
You have to try because it's just to me, like, until Jeffrey said the whole thing, I did not put it together.
Yeah, I didn't put that together exactly, but I did,
Yeah.
like, get a lot of the pieces. I just then let me just
Ooh.
say straight up, I would not have gotten, Monaco from this, but I also
No,
don't know anything
absolutely
about
not.
Monaco, so that is not gonna
I
help.
mean, all I know about Monaco is, like, rich ass people go there.
I think, like, if I had been able to zoom in on the map and I just was happening to, because you only have 2 minutes, but if I was, like, zooming around and I saw Monte Carlo was in Monaco, then I'd be like, "Oh, maybe it's Monte Carlo," based on the clues, but I would
I
not
would
have
have loved an
known
F1
this.
car. Like, what the
Yeah,
heck?
that would have helped too.
That doesn't make sense. Like, why is there no F1 references at all? Like, no racing references, no, like, rich people, right?
Like
Like, what else do you go to Monaco except to be rich?
like Jeffrey mentions race cars, but he just mentioned that to us. There was no clue
Yeah,
pointing
but I
towards
mean,
that.
like, as
Yes.
a clue, I
Yeah,
feel like it should have been something.
I agree.
And I'm
So,
sure there's, like, so many references in movies about cars, so I don't know why we couldn't have done that.
yeah, instead we get like generic movie references, but things like the spaghetti western stuff and the No Place Like Home, neither of those point to Monte Carlo. My problem was I got a little too stuck on the No Place Like Home thing because when
Yeah.
you get to Shane's clue and he sees a bunch of quote unquote a vegetable, I think it starts with A, he gets there eventually.
Yep.
Um, when I saw artichoke, my thought was initially, "Oh, hearts. Maybe this is like doesn't somebody want a heart in Wizard of Oz?"
Oh, the Scarecrow. Or
Yeah,
no, the Tin
or
Man,
the
Tin
Tin
Man,
Man, the Tin Man.
Tin Man.
So I was thinking like I was still stuck on that, but I'm like, why would the clues just circularly point
Oh,
back
you
to
know what? And they're
Dorothy?
going down the road, so that's really funny.
Yeah, I don't know. I a lot of my somehow I was just like was stuck on Wizard of Oz, and then I was trying to make all the clues fit into Wizard of Oz, and it
No, I
was
like it,
failing. I was
actually.
like, "Oh, the diamonds, like Dorothy's sparkly shoes." No, and they were red. I don't know. Anyway, that's where I was at. Um, Biggie gets a ton of white golf balls, and that is the one that I think is the hardest clue because
Yeah.
the answer to that one ends up being clubs. which is what you hit a golf ball with. But all the other clues are just like the thing themselves. Like the ring boxes hold diamonds. Um, we didn't really talk about, but Peter's clue of
And Marilyn
shovels are
Monroe's
just
3
spades.
weddings, like,
Yeah. I just think the other ones, like, there's the only thing that really comes to mind when you see artichoke is a heart.
Yep.
So
I'm like,
I definitely
artichoke
think Boogie's the
dip?
hardest.
What does that have to do with anything? Where was artichoke dip invented?
Yeah, I don't know. Um, so yeah, I definitely feel like Biggie's was the hardest. I
Yes,
mean, unless but now I
100%.
guess, you just have to do, like, word association, like golf, ball, club. Okay, that we're at a club. Um, so yeah,
Maybe
but
if you heard heart no, because I still heart I don't think I would have put it together, even if I got all 4.
yeah, and I'm just thinking, like, because so Rick and Peter do share their clues, and they sort of do some brainstorming, but they don't really get anywhere based on the clues. Um, it I'm trying Biggie and Shane, do they share theirs 100%? I think they do,
Yes,
right? Yeah,
yes,
okay.
Biggie yes, and that's what they just think that they don't, that Biggie and Shane think they're the only 2 that are sharing, and
Yes.
then Rick is the snake, so he'll never.
I do think regardless, unless you're very sure of what your clue might be pointing to, I think you probably should share with at least one other person. Because just knowing 2 of the clues is going to be such a benefit.
Mhm.
Um, so it's a good idea that they all did it. The
Yeah.
real plot twist here, and though, is that back on the bus, Peter and Rick, are talking, and then Biggie comes over and talks to Rick, and Biggie shares the clue with Rick, and then Rick lies about what his thing is. And what did he say? Something like pine cones or something like that? Yeah.
Yep.
So that one is interesting. So we see Rick like deliberately lie, and I have more thoughts on how that ends up later. But so now Rick has 3 pieces of information, and Biggie unfortunately has a false piece of information to work off of. So that's going to be really tough.
Bless. And I know we'll talk about it later, but the fact that Mr. JDM
This was brutal. Yeah,
literally outed the clues
I don't like it. I don't like that.
because production has to know Rick lied.
Yeah,
So I don't know
probably.
why. I just let it be. But I think he has to like. That's part of the thing where they have to share.
Well, let's talk about it more when we get there because I've got a lot
Yeah.
of thoughts on that. But
Okay. Okay.
yeah, then interestingly though, Rick does also think like maybe the no place like home, she's pointing toward Kansas, like can is similar word. I think these are a lot of like accidental things that sort
Yep.
of get
And then
them
like
going
the
in the right
movie
direction.
premieres, you go to
Yeah.
Cannes.
Yes. So I think that like helped. And that is the
Yeah.
only thing I know about Cannes as well, is like the film festival.
Same.
So
Same.
I don't know. So then we hear so this is the one that you were just talking about. Jeffrey tells us like a city dressed in diamonds and danger where history is written in champagne toasts and tire marks. So that's the only thing that we really get about speed. I think later on he says something like the people here love like wealth and speed or something.
Mhm.
But again, they don't know that. That's just for us. But I appreciated it. It still didn't help me because I still don't know anything
Yeah,
about
this was the first
Monaco.
time where I was like, "I literally know nothing."
Yeah,
Like, what you wherever you tell me, fine.
that's where I was when we ended up in Venice, I think. Was it the Venice episode, the first one, where we were, like, all really far off and nobody knew where
Yup,
we were?
yup.
Yeah, that one was rough. So Shane, we get another scene of him being sad that Allie is gone because they just keep digging that knife in.
God, just evil.
Yeah. What was going on with Biggie's bug bite? And I've never seen a bug bite that's not like a bee sting affect someone like that.
Oh my I mean, a
Or a spider
spider
maybe.
bite
Yeah, I
can.
guess a
I've
spider.
definitely gotten bit on my foot, and it, like,
Ooh.
got huge.
Oh, by a spider or something else?
Yeah, a spider.
So maybe he got bit by a spider. He said it was something that was on the horse, but like that is my worst nightmare to be on TV. Actually, I've had this. I've lived my worst nightmare apparently. So I was not to segue. Sorry, everyone. Skip
Yeah,
ahead a little if you don't
we
care
love
about this.
this.
But but I was an extra in a movie when I was a kid. I was an extra in a movie that filmed in my hometown, and like as I was on the way out my door to go there, a yellow jacket stung me on my cheek. And so
Oh my
in all the shots
god.
of me in the movie, like one cheek is swollen up. And so I'm like strategically trying to like hide half my face behind the other people so that you can't see it. And you would only be able to notice if you know what to look for. But I have like a freeze frame of me like with a giant swollen cheek. I think it's actually on my Twitter. But anyway,
Holy
so if
shit.
you're
Make that the
curious,
thumbnail for this
for
podcast.
this episode. Yeah. But yeah, if you're curious, I think I have that pinned. Yeah, it's my pinned tweet. So, oh,
Oh
you can
my
see
god.
on my pinned tweet how I'm strategically hiding my cheek behind everyone else.
Everyone
So,
go to Frail Mary.
yeah, you can check that out. Anyway, so yeah, but Rick or Biggie takes some time to rhyme here. He says, "Puffy face, don't know the place," and then Rick chimes in, "It's a disgrace." Really appreciated that. Good job, guys. You know, we're having fun on the bus.
Obsessed, obsessed.
Um, so yeah, the golf ball thing I still think is a really hard clue, especially because there were so many of them. I guess it didn't matter like the number besides the 3 rings mattering. Like, why
But
were there
what was the
4
point of
states?
the spaghetti westerns? They're not even in Italy.
I think just like that they were on the way.
That's some bull.
But I mean, that's like all whenever they do that first stop, that one always kind of bothers me because like I remember the first episode they stopped somewhere and it was like that they were really near Voltaire, but like or not
Oh.
Voltaire. Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
Voltaire. And it was like, what? This is not where we ended up, but I
Well,
guess they're
wasn't
just
it the
trying to.
same country at least?
Yes, that is true.
Okay, yeah.
I guess they just Monaco's too small for them to like give a hint directly about Monaco. What is I don't know, what's the color of the flag?
Hi, red. Yeah, red and white.
Okay. But so red and white. So the golf balls were white and the ring boxes
Stop
were
the cap.
red.
Stop this.
I don't know. Artichokes were a
Oh
different
my
color though, so that
god.
doesn't help. Is
I
there
just
like a
don't
heart on
understand
it or
because they were
anything?
on the French Riviera, so I just think they could have done, again, like, go-karting.
Yeah. No, they didn't do that.
Anyway, whatever. That area was really pretty, right? I think the Grand Sasso Mountain or whatever
It
near
was.
Tivoli, but it was beautiful, but I'm just confused.
I'm just skimming through the Monaco Wikipedia page to see if there's anything about hearts or artichokes. I don't see anything.
No.
Artichoke.
Everything about Monaco
Yeah.
is just rich people being rich. That's
Yeah.
it.
Oh well, we tried.
Yeah, and they have a
Yeah.
monarchy.
Yeah. That
I don't
well.
know.
Oh well. So then we get to our second stop. Right before we get to our second stop, usually we'd get another challenge. But Jeffrey Dean Morgan is like, we're mixing things up today. So we're going to drop our X's right now. And I liked this twist. I thought this was fun.
Yep. That was because when we went to the map room that early, I said, "What's happening?"
Yeah, I thought we were going to get like a 2 boot, like a keep on
Yeah, me
racing or
too.
something. Or a double episode.
Mhm.
But no, so the good news is 3 people are moving on to the finale. The bad news is somebody's going home today.
Yep.
And this is when Shane was talking about settling down with Allie, which is again a little bit funny, but that's okay. So again, we hear from Jeffrey Dean Morgan. 1 of 3 people are millionaires, which also crazy.
Yeah.
1 out of every 3 people. How many people live in Monaco? What's the
No, yeah,
population?
this is something I knew, I will say.
Population.
I
Let's
just
see.
watch a lot, like,
Oh,
there's a
small.
lot of videos about Monaco that I have consumed.
Well, now I'm intrigued.
Yeah, this is just,
Wow.
like, very rich people doing rich shit.
Yes, very rich people. 98% of the population uses the internet. Okay. Who's
Well,
not using the internet? Babies? What are you
yeah,
talking about?
probably. Mhm. Do they
Anyway.
even have babies in Monaco? No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know. So, they and yeah, speed is a way of life apparently. Is it just because of the F1 stuff or is there
Well,
like
and, like, again, like, you go like, there's just the thing in Monaco is, like, people drive really nice, like, fast cars, and
Ah,
then they go to, like, yeah, the Monte Carlo or all these places, and they get photographed, get papped, whatever.
interesting. Yeah. So everyone is going to drop their X. Um, Also, this is where we learn he says, "I'm gonna give everyone 2 minutes." I didn't realize that there was a countdown clock on the dropping the X in the map room.
Yeah, no, there is, that I knew
Okay.
that.
That went over my head through all the other episodes. I guess that makes sense because they need to put a
That's
little
why
bit of
they're
a timer on
freaking
it.
out all the time, yeah.
Yeah. So, everyone starts looking, they're all just like, "Let's go west of Venice." So,
Yep.
they're looking at the highways. Um, Shane is the only one who I have no clue what Shane is doing. Shane just, like, randomly selects Milan. Did he have any reason to believe that?
He was like wait, he just says that he picks Milan because of the spaghetti westerns or something.
Where is Milan?
We'll
Far
ask
away,
him
right?
tomorrow because it don't make no damn sense.
Where is Milan? Where can I can't
Milan
remember to
is,
find
like,
it.
it's closer to, funny enough, Switzerland.
Oh. Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
so it's up there.
Yeah, no, that's wrong. Anyway, sorry, my dude.
Yeah.
And then so this is the other one where it's like, I can't really feel that bad when Shane leaves because he was so far off on the
Yeah,
guessing.
actually, it
If we're
would've
like
been
if we're staying
wild.
pure,
It would've been wild if someone else left over him,
yeah. I think
but the
that we would
game's the
also
game.
be having a upset conversation over that.
Yep.
But it all kind of ends up working out. So Peter and Rick both guess now they both say they guess kind of near Can, but it looks like they're closer to Nice when they, like, actually show the map of where they are. So maybe
Yep.
they kinda split the difference between there. And then,
Well,
Biggie,
Nice
I
is very close to Monaco too, so.
yeah, and I think Biggie also kinda puts his near Nice, but a little bit further away.
Mhm.
And, so soon someone is leaving, but not quite yet, because first we're gonna have another chance to change their fate.
Yes.
Now, similar to the knife game, that's not what it was called, the dagger game, there are parts of this I liked and then parts of this that I was like, "I don't know how I feel about this."
Mhm.
But we get our little clue recap. Golf bulbs are clubs, artichokes are hearts, shovels are spades, rings are diamonds, which equals casino, and casino equals Monaco, Monte
Yep.
Carlo, apparently. I also didn't know that Monte Carlo was in Monaco. So, look, I didn't know anything about anything, as it turns out.
Oh
Um,
my god.
let's see. Monte Carlo. Yeah. Why don't you look at that? But this was apparently the inspiration for James Bond's Casino Royale. Was Casino Royale shot in actual Monte Carlo?
I mean, maybe. Have you never seen the Selena Gomez movie, Monte Carlo?
No, I haven't. I probably should see that. Oh my
It's
gosh.
on YouTube, I think, for free.
um,
Oh my gosh.
let's see. Casino Royale was filmed in the Bahamas. Well, that's not helpful.
Oh my gosh.
And some places in Italy, but not Monaco.
Yeah,
Wild.
can they afford like, that's so
I guess
expensive.
not. Probably couldn't afford to. But anyway, but it's the inspiration for
Mhm.
Casino Royale. So they're on a yacht. Why are they on a yacht? I don't know. But instantly
Well, no,
Shane is
that's
like,
another Monaco thing. Like, if you're
yes.
in Monaco, you're on a yacht.
But I love that instantly Shane is like, oh shoot. I know I'm wrong. We're in the water.
We're not in Milan.
We're not in Milan. And then everyone
Oh
else
my
is kind of
gosh.
like, huh, well, I don't think this is where I put it, but I don't really know based on what I'm seeing. I kind of have to like, I need to look at the shots again of when they were in the water because I guess I'm trying to think if I was just looking at a coastline from like however far they are away, 500 yards away or whatever, you would think you'd be able to like pick out some landmarks, maybe.
Can I just say, if I'm on a yacht and I have to pick something, I know that I'm in Monaco, and then I messed up. I don't know why, I just know that would have been my thought process.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
'Cause if
you
I'm in
probably had
Cannes,
that.
I'm not going on a yacht. You know, like, yacht
That's true. It's not
activities
like
is Monaco.
yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Well, now we know for the next time
Yep.
that one of us is on a yacht in that
And
area.
sponsor my trip to Monaco, obviously.
Yeah, please
God.
do. So they're gonna play a gambling game. Um, Now, basically, in this game, they're going to pick red or black on their turn, and I didn't realize at first they all go twice.
Yep.
Um, my main bone to pick with this game is that once again, it's a game where it seems like you have such an advantage by going last, which
Yeah.
was the same with the dagger game, and such a disadvantage by going first. So
Mhm.
I wish that it could have been a little more mixed up somehow, like maybe reshuffle the order the second time around or something so they at least can't predict for who is going when. That would be nice.
I
Um,
know, I just didn't it felt like they kind of mix it up, but then they didn't actually mix it up, like, only Biggie and no, sorry, Peter and Shane got me I don't know. Peter and Biggie, sorry, got mixed at the end or something because I don't know, it was very weird.
yeah, it was just weird that like Rick is going to go first and then he's going to go first in the second round again. I'm like, that's kind of sucks for Rick,
Yep.
but he makes it work. So it's a little bit, I mean, the whole game is a little crapshooty because, like, first off, at least unlike the dagger game, we did see some people lose, which is nice because
Yes.
I was afraid we were just going to see everyone win the whole time. So Rick is going to go first. He wins. He selects black. So he gets black. He wins.
Yeah.
And you get to make a choice here to either move your own or move someone else's
Yep.
X. The problem is that that's kind of like a little bit misleading because he reads his card after he chooses to move his own X, and his answer is that he has to swap his X with a player of his choice. And he knows that his is like pretty close. So at this point, he's having to pick someone, and he's lucky that he does end up picking Peter, who is closer, but he's only like a mile closer.
Exactly.
It's not that much closer.
But
I
rather that than one of the other 2?
Yeah, so it's hard because let me ask you, like, what would your strategy be in this game of is your goal in the first round especially to put yourself in the best position or to play defensively a little bit of like I don't want to put a target on my back for being in the closest position because then someone could swap me to a really bad position.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just I think Rick went first, so I'm not even, like, gonna drag because I think my first thing would have been also, like, I wanna move myself, but
Feel
in
safe.
reality, I think it's best to not have yourself and do stuff with other people's exes,
Yeah, I agree. I think that that's probably the strategy. Um
unless you're Shane.
you know, you win some, you lose some.
Yep.
So, yeah, and then, I did think it was also kind of interesting on Rick's turn, Peter advises him to switch with Shane, which I thought was, like, a little dirty of Peter of trying to say that because I think Peter and Rick both know that they're in the best spot,
I know,
unless that was
but I
Peter's way
like
of
it.
trying to, like, hint, like, "Oh" I don't know, like,
Hey,
let
this is fun, though. This is the mess we need.
yeah, it was fine. But then Rick is like, I need to come up with a story for like an excuse to switch with Peter. And he basically says that, like, oh, Peter's been like doing well. I think he's actually guessed pretty close. I'm going to switch with him. Again, it works out well. I still just find it so interesting. We'll have to ask Shane and Biggie when we eventually get to talk to Biggie, but definitely Shane next time. Like, how did you not think that Rick and Peter are working together, especially after
That's what
this?
I
Because they're
agreed,
both just like helping each other the whole time.
and so loudly.
Yes. Yeah. It's like I don't know. Was this really fooling anyone? Um so then Shane and Biggie both go next and they both lose a turn and then Peter goes. Oh, you're right. They do mix up the
Yeah,
order the
I'm
second
telling
time around, but
you.
Rick still has to go first. That's so weird.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's Biggie and Peter who swap spots.
Yeah.
Maybe it was random and we just didn't see it happening that way and it just like I don't know. I guess there's only so random you can be with four people.
Yep.
So Peter wins and he's going to move another player's X and he gets to swap the X's of two other players. He chooses Biggie and Shane. And this is how Biggie gets put really far away because he's in Shane's sucky spot that he picked from the beginning. So he's way out in Milan
Oh my
now.
gosh.
Yeah, which I guess helps Shane, but Shane, this is about the
Mhm.
closest you're going to get at this point. Then Rick goes again, moves another player, and he has to move the X of one player 50 miles away. Now he's going to move Biggie's spot of Milan, 50 miles away. Is that a good thing to do?
I mean, it depends 50 miles which direction.
But, like, is that it's gonna be further, but, like,
Yeah.
is it the best move to just, like, really dunk on one I'm not even gonna say one person, one spot and have one spot so far away? Because if you end up in that spot, you're out.
But I think if you're dunking on one person, at least you and Peter can dunk on him together. That's the only positive. Like, I see what you're saying, but technically, if you have to swap two people, you want your ally to be swap. Somehow you have to swap your ally in someone. You don't
Yeah.
wanna swap your ally out.
I guess the thing I would be that's a good point, that's a good point.
Mhm.
I guess I'd be afraid, though, of, like, really making one of the exes really far away, and then at this point, Rick knows he's got 3 more people, Shane, Peter, and Biggie, who are gonna go after him, and one of them could pull a thing that says
Yeah.
that he's gonna get then put in that spot, and he's not gonna get to go again. That's the
Yep.
main thing, is, like, this is Rick's, last move. So, yeah, he does move Biggie further away. The other thing that was kind of interesting about all of this is that before they even go to this, Shane tells, at the very least, Biggie, but possibly everyone, that he guessed Milan. And I was like,
Mhm.
Shane, you can't be saying these things out loud. But so everyone knows that, like, Shane's ex is far away. And then I think he actually says it out loud
Yep.
during the competition too, or somebody does. I don't know if it's Biggie or Shane. Shane then does win, and he gets to move another X, move one player's X back to its original position. And so he very nicely moves Biggie's back to where Biggie originally picked. So now Shane and Biggie are at the same spot. So he basically undid everything Rick just did, but they're now tied for third. So it's still not great. I guess this was the best thing to do.
Again, it
Really...
just to me, it felt like they had to have known, and Rick and Peter were playing the game together versus,
Shane and
Shane.
Biggie.
Yeah, Shane and Biggie, I think, were playing individual.
It's just interesting because also move another player's X back to its original position. They're all in their original position. Unless, like, if someone had moved, so Shane has swapped with Biggie, would that
Mhm.
mean that if Shane's X was moved, I guess it would move back to where his was? I guess so.
Yeah.
So anyway, he ends up helping Biggie, which I guess is fine.
Yep.
Peter goes, he has to move another X, and he gets to move a person closer 50. So he helps Rick. This one right here, when he helps Rick after Rick swapped with him, this is where I'm like, yeah, I mean, everyone has to realize that they're working together 100%.
Mhm.
But yeah, he does that. And then Biggie does end up winning, and he gets to move his X closer by 50 miles.
Yep.
And so I think the way it ends up, Rick and Biggie are basically on the destination. Peter is like
Exactly.
a mile or two away, and then Shane is a little bit further away from that. So they're all relatively close at the end. Nobody's like 50 miles away, but yeah, I liked the game. I think the thing for me is I'm always trying to think of, like, how could you game this? How could you think
Yeah,
about
that's
it? What's the best
exactly.
strategy?
Mhm.
And I think it's almost impossible to do well at this if everyone else is against you. Like, if we were at
That's
this,
what I was gonna say, yeah.
it kind of like with Allie in the other game, if the end of this game was, I don't know, any number of people and one person who's on the outs, like if Kim's here against everyone else or something, I think it's pretty easy to just punish one person because you
And
kind
I
of need an
think
ally to
it
help you.
should have been 2 versus 2, but the problem is when one of your ally is so far away,
Yeah.
you have to save yourself, which is what Biggie did.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. So it's tricky, but it ends up working out, like we said, where Shane is going to be the farthest away. And so he's going to end up going home, which he would have done regardless if they had just based the whole thing on guessing. Um, so it ends up being that way. Biggie's sad. He's going to miss his alliance member, but um, Shane at least feels like the whole game was worthwhile for having met Allie. I'm sorry. I cannot stop dunking on it's just funny in retrospect. And the thing is, they could have just broken up, which would have also been fine. Like,
Yep,
it would have
yep,
been the same
yep.
outcome, but it's just funny that uh that, that all the news came out about Allie and Mac only for this to be like the immediate episode after all of that came out. It's just funny.
But, we don't know what happened, like, between them, like, maybe
True.
Shane, broke up, like, we don't know. We
Yeah.
don't know.
Allie made it feel like it was mutual, but we have no
Yes,
idea. We have no idea.
exactly.
So, it's funny. Yeah, I don't think that Rick should have had to reveal what his clue was. So this is where
Yep.
we get down to it. Jeffrey is like, "Hey, so what were all your clues?" Do you think that if on his turn, if Rick had said, "Oh, I had 2 pine cones," or whatever his lie was, and that kind of makes sense because the shape of a pine cone, like, I don't know, little spike is like a
Yeah.
diamond. If Rick had just said that and like said the whole thing to make it
Yep.
make sense and connect it, do you think the host would have just like let that slide? Or do you think he would have been called out and been told, "No, you can't lie"?
Right, 'cause this is giving, "Oh, you can't use production as a strategy." But
But
if you
production
want
shouldn't
people
be
to
able to like,
lie,
yeah, production shouldn't be able to cramp your style either.
that's what I'm saying. I just think, like, we have to figure out what the rule was, 'cause I feel
We
like they
need
have
to ask Rick.
lied before, you know what I mean? Like, they've lied before when, they're like, Jeffrey's always like, "Don't give all the info, don't give all the info," and now you're penalizing Rick. So it's giving they want some drama.
Yeah. Um I don't know. I feel like he shouldn't have had to do it. I think also possibly if he had just said, "Oh, I don't want to say," they might have just like been like, "Okay." I mean, that's kind of suspicious because why,
Mhm.
like, why do you want to hide this? Um, I don't know.
Yeah, I just personally feel like they wanted some drama, and that's it.
Yeah. So I'm writing this down to make sure we would
Yep.
ask Rick,
Yeah,
why
because
did you
that's
have
what I
to?
believe. I just feel like that
Yeah.
it doesn't feel, um, the same, right? Because they're asked to lie so that not everyone ties at the map room, but now we're also like, "Oh, but it can't be about the clue because then I might tell everyone the clue." It's weird.
I feel like I almost would have asked production at some point, like, are these clues going to come out? And maybe he did ask and he was told like, I don't know, anything could happen. And if that's what he's told, then that's fine. But
Mhm.
I would have hoped at least that if he had lied, that he would not have been then called out on his lie on the boat.
Yep.
So we'll have to ask him to find that answer. Um,
Agreed.
yeah. So everyone is ready for the finale. Because Rick does have to reveal his lie and he does reveal the thing about the ring boxes, Biggie now is on to Rick, knows that Rick lied about him. Do you think that this is going to affect the finale?
Yes and no. I think this just like puts it more the seal that Biggie's on the outs with the other two.
Yeah. And for Biggie having done so well socially throughout so much of the game, to where Biggie was constantly winning safety and getting chosen to
Yep,
be safe
yep,
by other people, it's interesting to see where we've ended up now with Rick and Peter. And I think it's a lot of it's just that Rick and Peter are truly just playing a little bit harder, playing a little bit snakier.
yep.
Um, Whereas I think Biggie has been doing well, but like Biggie did not at any point think like that Rick would have been lying. He's like, "Oh, Rick's such a nice guy." We even see a confessional where Biggie, after Rick moves him to Shane's spot, Biggie's like, "Oh, I can't even be mad. He's just playing the game. He's such a nice guy." Not to say that Rick's not a nice guy. He
Mhm.
seemed very nice when we talked to him,
Yeah.
but like he's playing the game.
And I don't care if you are messy and you're like whatever in the game, we love that.
Yeah, I'm good with
Like
it.
I don't want like happy go lucky people that are just there for friendship. Like get the hell out of here. You're there to win some money. And if you're gonna be just like nice, then how boring would that be for us to watch, right? If everyone knew that they were in Monaco and then it just happens to be that, oh, whoever's roulette hits.
Right.
Also, isn't that funny they're playing Russian roulette?
Yeah, a little bit. Didn't
Or is it
really.
not Russian roulette? Maybe it's just roulette, sorry. Russian
Russian
roulette,
roulette, I think, is the one with the gun,
the
right?
pew
Yeah.
pew. Oh, I'm
I think that's
sorry.
right.
See, this
I'm
is when
pretty
I
sure.
lie.
But you
What?
know what? When you first said it, I was like, yeah, 100%.
No, then I also thought about it. But okay, it's Italian game, so fine.
Yeah.
Lots of Italy references. But yeah, it's just for me, like I'm always going to be on the side of like these like messy strategic players because they make the show. Okay,
Yeah.
if like everyone knew and everyone was happy go lucky, then we'd be constantly in freaking ties. And that's so boring.
Yes. It was interesting that we did have the one tie, but
Yeah.
well, actually, we had two because of Ty, the
Mhm.
player. It's been a long
Oh
season,
my
everybody.
god.
Okay, so let's go back to the map. Here's our map, and what is this shape we're making? I'm okay. Considering the fact that I thought Monaco was in France, I was a little bit confused about why we were going back to France, but we're not in France, as it turns out.
Yeah.
So I'm not upset. And maybe they're just saying, hey, if we had a second season, then we're going to go to, the east side of the map here. But we are like,
Destination X UK is coming out soon, by the way.
are they going to
No.
be just in the UK?
I don't remember, but maybe they'll
Okay.
go to America. No, I'm just kidding.
I think they, you know what, as me, a dirty, rotten American, I feel like going to America would actually be kind of interesting if you had to guess the state or the city.
Oh
It's
my
kind of
god.
hard.
So
Hard.
funny.
Look, I live in Virginia, and you could go to 4 different spots in Virginia, and they all look like different states. So, yeah, I don't know.
Oh
That could be
gosh.
funny. Guess which college town you're in. All right. So basically, the whole thing is thrown off because we've been trying to guess that we're going to like
Oh, they're still going across Europe.
Hungary and Croatia, and we've been so wrong. So
Oh god, I like quit.
at this point, where are we going? Are we going to Andorra? Like, where are we going?
I know, right? Well, that's contested. Ooh.
So
Um,
probably not.
yeah, so it depends. But yeah, I wonder if we just go back up to France or do like a whole thing, or do we go to Spain and Portugal? Well, we only have one left, so Spain.
Yeah, we could go to Spain.
It's like enough. We've already done the circle, right? Like it's the X.
Unless they're gonna go really far or fly somewhere.
They should. They should fly.
If they flew somewhere, where
Then
would
I
you
think
want them to plop
England.
down? Yeah, probably. But that I just feel like that'd be so easy to end up in England. Wouldn't
Mhm.
it be funny if they got on a plane and flew somewhere and then they flew to like France? Like just to mess with them? I
Oh
really
my
don't
gosh.
know how they would fly without doing like the Amazing Race private jet
Right.
situation. Like I don't know how they would fly while keeping them
Well, they did have the
unaware of where they're
private
going.
jet, for them. That's how they came
Oh, is
in.
that how
That's
they
how they
got
started.
to
Yeah.
the start? Okay, so they
Mhm, that's
could
how we
do
started
that.
in Rome because we were
I
at
don't
the
know.
hangar.
What feels finale-ish to you?
That's what I'm saying. It needs to be, like, big,
I know.
which is
Would
why
they
France is crazy. I think we should go to Spain.
Okay, so you're
Yeah,
going to
lock me in Spain.
Spain.
I'll be wrong, and I don't
No,
care
it's
because, like,
okay.
I don't know where their brains are.
I'm gonna say that they're going to England. I don't know where in England, but
Okay, I
that's
like
my
it.
guess. So I'm going to England, you're going to Spain,
I like
which
it.
means we're both probably gonna be wrong, and they're gonna go to Czech Republic,
Yep,
finally.
or Croatia.
So
I'm just kidding.
we'll see. Anyway, so that's where we ended up there. So far, just a little recap. Started in Rome, in Italy, then we went to Geneva, Switzerland, then Paris, France, Amsterdam, Netherlands, Munich, Germany, Salzburg, Australia, Venice, Italy, twice in a row, and now Monaco, which I wrote in my notes, Monaco, France. No, it's just Monaco. Stop, Mary.
Monaco is the
learn
country.
learn your learn your countries. I was just looking at the map.
Oh my
So
gosh.
that's where we are now. Would you think overall? Do we still think that Rick is gonna win? I'm still
Yeah.
feeling pretty good about Rick
Yeah, yeah,
winning.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I'm torn now in second place.
No, I see what you're saying because like, Biggie's just such a fun narrator that they just use him a lot.
Well, and do you
I thought
think
Biggie
like
was toast this episode.
I did too. I thought this was gonna be Biggie's like
Yeah.
last shot here. The thing I'm curious about is Rick going to really say, okay, Peter is now my biggest competition, and so I need to stop sharing information with him and hope that he leaves.
I mean,
Or
if he
do
was
we
smart, but I don't know that he'd be that snaky.
Well, especially because I think Peter knows the locations better than Biggie does. I mean, Biggie
Yes.
Rick did say in this episode, like, Biggie hadn't, not left the US, but he's done tons of studying. But
Mhm.
Biggie has really gained most of his information on where he is based on people, based on his social relationships. And now that there's only 3 people left, the social relationships aren't gonna matter for Biggie
Yep.
as much. So, yeah, I don't know. I think Rick's gonna win, but I think Biggie will come in 2nd place.
Yeah,
That's my
that makes
prediction.
sense.
So, we'll see. But anyway, Sasha, where can everyone find you?
Yes, you can of course find me talking pop culture, everything trending right now, what's going on with celebrities over on Mess Magnets. So check that out, mess.magnets on YouTube or Mess Magnets wherever you get your podcasts. What about you, Mary?
Awesome. You can check me out everywhere at Frail Mary. I'm also in the process of switching things up over on the YouTube side of things. So my YouTube account is I'm rebranding it to Trail Mary for running
Oh,
content,
yes.
and then
Yes.
we'll have a different Frail Mary account that will be for everything else. So
I like this. I
if
like
for
this.
some reason you're subscribed to Frail Mary, it is Trail Mary now. So enjoy the running content until I get
I
everything
love
else
it.
sorted out. But anyway, awesome. Well, everyone, we are going to be really excited to talk to Shane this week and then to see everyone for the finale. All right, until
Bye.
next time.
This is RHAP. We know reality TV.